What's going wrong at Walsall? Are they about to hand the title to Bradford City? Should Matt Sadler be sacked immediately by Walsall? What's going on with the system? Why is their successful system that's got them top of the league, 14 points clear of second? How has that ended up failing them as they are right now in League 2? 2 wins from 13, and is it all down to Nathan Lowe? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like the video if you are new. Well, you don't have to like it if you're new. Subscribe if you're new, and if you like to do so. We're on the way to 900 subscribers, and all support is massively appreciated. The likes, comments and subscribers have been going up dramatically recently, so thank you very much for your support. So what's going wrong at Walsall then? It's the biggest conspiracy in League 2 and the Football League. I think you look at the Premier League, no one's doubting Liverpool, no one's doubting Leeds, who are top of the Championship, and League 1, Birmingham. They're all successful, they're all happy, they're all coasting, but Walsall, they've gone on the craziest downslope you've ever seen. It's like a crash at Kitzbühel. It's been so dramatic. You know, I could have named someone who actually crashed and died from Formula 1. It's been that big of a car crash, but I'm not gonna, because I'm not that insensitive. But Walsall, look, it's dramatic and it's shambolic, but it's not as bad as it looks. And look, Walsall know more than me. You've watched all the games. I've only watched a handful and highlights and stuff, and looked at data. And I don't like looking at data, but it can help. But I prefer the eye test. You know, go to Specsavers. It's much better. But it is a con. It is a con. Anyway, so look, what's going on? I predicted Walsall to finish 15th in August. The top. Fantastic. You'd be all happy. But I did say, why are you finishing 15th? Because they haven't got a big enough squad. You know, it doesn't extend enough. There's no depth, and there's no goal scoring threat. Well, Nathan Lowe came in after I did that video and lit the EFL up into flames. You know, he took it by the scruff of the neck and said, "I'm Nathan Lowe." No one ever heard of the guy, and now everyone knows of him. An absolute gem that they found, and he got 15 goals in 22. And you think, wow, who's this young lad we've got? And he's scoring goals out of nothing, and he's scoring goals that, you know, he should be. He's very clinical, and he's been a huge miss. The last 13 games with Nathan Lowe in the starting 11, they did score 25. In the last 13 games that they've had without Nathan Lowe in the starting 11, well, without him in the football club, they've only scored 15. That's the drop-off. It's 10 goals, but it's 10 huge goals, and I'm sure he probably scored around all 10 of them. Nathan Lowe had a big part to play in it, but I don't think it is all down to him. You know, because those 10 goals, there's not a big, you know, drop-off there. It's not huge. And let's not forget, Bradford City lost Andy Cook a couple of weeks before Walsall lost Nathan Lowe, and you know, we were both playing with two strikers, and Walsall had more recognised big name strikers in League 2 than Bradford City did. Yes, Michael Mellon's come in from Morecambe. You know, he had a great spot at Morecambe and got his move to Stockport, so he's quite a big name. But Callum Kavanagh, he's got the first touch of a trampoline. When you bounce off it, you don't know where you're going to end up. You know, you could end up on the moon. You know, you don't know. It's unpredictable, and that's Callum Kavanagh. We've got two midfielders up front as the backups now. Whereas Walsall, Jamil Matt, Albert Adoma, Ellis Harrison, Danny Johnson, they're big name strikers. So that can't really be an excuse. And they've still got the whole core of the team that got them into the great position that they are. Tiredness. You get tired after a day shift at work. Right, 8 hours slog, grafting, you know, it could be a 12-hour weekend you do as well. You're all hard workers, and you don't feel sorry for footballers. But it's a physical job, and it's an elite job where you're having to be at the top level every day in training, and you then have to be at that level on a match day. Different teams play different styles of play, and the problem with Walsall is they're quite gung-ho in a sense of, you know, you'd watch them and you wouldn't think, oh, they're gung-ho, because they're quite deep, low block. You know, from just catching an eye of them, you look at them defending and you go, they're just sitting a low block, they're compact, they're quite well organised, and, you know, that they might come for a point. But it's just so dramatic how you go from that. But then the counter-attack, relentlessly. The wing-backs are wingers. Taylor Allen, the midfield, the centre-back, comes into midfield. So, you know, they're up and down, them. But the two central midfielders, they're high and wide, so they're back and then they're up. And the two strikers as well, because they're sitting deep. They've got a burst of guts to to get on the counter attack. So everyone has got to go from this deep position in the penalty area to then the complete extreme. If you win the ball, you've got to break fast, because that's the way we've soaked up all the pressure. Now the space is in the attacking areas. Everyone gets committed. Everyone's in the opposition half into the penalty areas, committing players that they end up with loads of players in the box. I'm tired saying it all. So no wonder the athletes having to get back and forth. But then the difference is, Bradford City, we've had so many injuries, but and I'm saying this because we have, hopefully, you're watching, and it does impact us all in the top 7. But we've had so many injuries, but we've had the budget to then go this season. We hadn't in previous season, but this season we had the budget to go and bring Lapsley in, go and bring Tommy Lee in, go and bring Michael Mellon in on loan, Critchlow. We've had players, Corey Evans as well, Paul Huntington. We've gone and backed our manager with. You're struggling, here's a couple of players to just fill the void of a player who's injured. And that's what we've done, and that's why we're still up there and we've been brilliant. And we've been quite consistent. We've had a poor streak in November, we've had a great streak in February, January, but that's why you're up there, because you're up there because you have a big squad, a good squad, and there's no drop-off when there is injuries, inevitably. Whereas Walsall, injuries have caught up with them now, and I think players will probably have to play through injuries. Players might not be at that 100% level of effort and energy and intensity, because they might just have a little knock, but they've got to play through it, because there's no one who can come in and take the place. Or they might be, but they're not going to reach that height that that those players are at. Your Jamie Joyce's, your Lakins, your Connor Barrett's, that they have been relentless. And I think to a level you can't look at Matt Sadler and say, well, they should be changing the team, because the players who are coming in aren't at that level to be winning a league title in League Two. And that's been the concern of people going into the season. But that's why Walsall are quite a mid-table team. And that's why they're performing at that mid-table level now. The form table has them in 11th. Because they're drawing too many games. They don't have that extra level now to go where they can come back from behind. Because that was the key bit. I watched them at Notts County in December, I think it was. They were struggling that first half. Second half, few little changes adapted. They were going at it. Shackles came off a bit, and they had that intensity, that enthusiasm, that extra level of energy to go up Notts County, and then they won that game, and that was the difference that they had in the first half of the season to now, and that's why it's caught up with them. And I do feel for them, but you can't turn to a manager because he hasn't been backed. That's not a squad that you look at and go, squad. Starting 11, yeah, it's top 3, top 7 easy, but it's not a squad. And but will get you promotion. But I think they will improve the line. I did my predictions, and yeah, I had them to win the league, just because I think how good they showed to be in that first half of the season. 3-4 wins will probably win the league for them, I think. So just to put it into a bit of stats, I mean, I'm not a stats man, I hate stats really, but just backs it up a bit. They've had 43% possession, that's the second lowest in the league to Bromley, the newest team in the EFL, their first ever season in the EFL, and you can understand why they have to be that low, that pragmatic sort of style. But it was effective for them, because like I said, they sit deep, they have that low block, and they counter quick with pace and intensity. They're currently 11th for goals conceded. I think they've conceded 44 goals. 43. I think I said that. 44 goals. And with that low possession, that's got them 43 goals conceded this season, and they're currently 11th for goals against. However, this is the difference in the poor run that they've been on. They had only conceded 19 goals after the first 22 games. Simkin has been one of the least busy goalkeepers, and that's probably made a few mistakes of his more recently, because he hadn't had he's had that high concentration level. But then when he's called upon, is he really ready? And they have conceded a few from outside the area. Unluckily, they've got the highest conversion against in the league. I think the fourth highest goal conversion against, where teams have took their chances against them at a better rate than 20 other teams in League Two, which is quite unlucky. So there's a bit of unlucky bit of play that comes to them as well. But I watched them against Bromley, and they were getting in behind them, they were turning the ball over them, they were going long, and Walsall, they weren't really battling aerially, they weren't really matching them for the duels and the running, and that comes to tiredness. But I think a bit of the play that might have been found a bit is that they don't really have that strength, that physique about them. That they've got. Again, I think they've got the second. I think the second. They've only won 47% of their aerial duels. I think that has them second lowest in the league, which is pretty abysmal for a team that's top of the league. When Bradford City are playing against a team that have a big physical striker, will throw Paul Huntington in there, he'll win every aerial duel, and he organises the defence. Richie Smallwood doesn't miss a tackle, and is that leader that gets in your face. I don't think Walsall have those type of leaders and those battlers because they've got such a young squad, and the great recruitment to find these young energetic players. But I think that's another bit that they're missing, to then get out of a rut like this. Great when you're winning, but how does it affect you when you're losing? And yes, Adoma's played at a good level. Jamil Matt's experienced at this level, but they've got 2, 3, 4, and you need more than them. And that's when the going gets tough. The tough gets going. Next 3 games are huge. They've got Port Vale, Doncaster, and Wimbledon. They could win all them and they win the league, and this season goes down in history for Walsall. And Matt Sadler is a legend, and to me, I think he should still be recognised as that, because he's brought a feel-good back. He should have brought a feel-good factor back to Walsall with the goals they've scored. They're still the highest goal scorers in the league. They were dominating in that first half of the season, and that should be remembered, even if they've bottled it. And it would be a bottle, and it would be a travesty, and it would be the words wouldn't be able to explain how ridiculous this drop-off would be if Walsall didn't go up. But I think it really could happen. But he should be still supported, and the support should be 100% behind him, no matter what, because Walsall, the last time they finished higher than 11th in the table, where he got them to finish last season, was 2015-16 when they finished 3rd in League One. Since then they fell away, got relegated in 18-19 with Bradford City, and were languishing in the bottom half of League Two like we were the last few seasons, having no direction, no real project, and nothing to believe in. And Matt Sadler's given that no matter what, because they had a late surge towards the playoffs last season, finishing 11th. We're quite a tricky team to play against throughout the season. Built on that into this season, top of the league for the main part, and if they don't go up, they're still finishing the playoffs where they haven't finished since 15-16. And they can keep going, and he will be one of the longest serving managers in the FL if he keeps his job next season. That's how stupid it is with sacking managers. And I like that he's English as well, and he's young, and he could go somewhere in the game, because he's definitely shown that. And if you back him in the summer, give him a squad, don't go up next season, but they could definitely challenge in League One next season, because to me he's proven that he's a more than capable manager to progress in his career and get more promotions under his belt. In the first half of the season, he was getting praised with being so adaptable and the best manager in the FL. It was so high for him. And now he's getting criticised because he ain't adaptable. And yet, when he did change his team against Bromley, he took keeper out, he made a lot of changes, and then he got criticised for making the changes. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Am I miles off it? I don't think I am. But also, you've watched your team for many seasons, and obviously all this season, so you'll know more than me. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you with Matt Sadler? Was Nathan Lowe the reason why Walsall dropped off to only 2 wins in 13th mid-table form? Are you against Matt Sadler? Is he the problem? Is it the system? Should he have changed? Should he have tweaked the 3-5-2? Should he have added another man in midfield? What could he have changed? What should he be changing now? Do you think you're going to get promoted? Will you win the league? And could you even drop into the playoffs? And if you do you think you've got the confidence to then go into a playoffs with a bit of momentum and win it? I don't think you have if you drop into there. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, because there's going to be a lot of opinions on this. And Bradford City fans, do you think they are handing us the league title? Like the video if you did, and subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 900 subscribers, and the support recently has been sensational. It's massively appreciated. Can we hit 900 subscribers before the end of the season? I did make a deal with you about 1,000, so don't forget that either. Get your friends and families and everyone subscribing. It is free, but have a good one.